Hi, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel and Happy New Year to you again. It's the start of a new year, and while some people say it's just like waking up into another day, which in a normal sense it is, but we use a calendar um, as human beings, and even the Bible, at some point in the Bible, it says times and season. So it's a new year, it's a time for us to think about what worked for us last year, what didn't work for us in our parenting journey. I hope you've had family meetings with your children. I've already done it, and these were the things that we discussed. So I'm here to share with you 6 house rules for preteens and teens that are firm but yet flexible. So the first one is respect is not an option and it is reciprocal. It starts out small, an occasional dismissal when we ask our preteens and teens to do something, or a heavy sigh and a snackle comment, no mom, I said I'll do it later. Of course, we should always give our kids room to have a bad day. No one is perfect, but we need to have high expectations of our preteens and teens when it comes, to respect. Or quite often, they will push the limit. So without mutual respect for one another, we have to show the same respect towards our preteens and teens. The entire family dynamic starts to crumble, if we don't put these things in place. It is foundational, and it's upon this respect, every other thing stands. So from little things like knocking before entering, not shouting, not using foul language to ask, before borrowing, and learning the acts of agreeing to disagree. Your preteens and teens, my preteens and teens need to understand that blatant respect won't fly, no, blatant disrespect won't fly under the roof, and that there will be consequences. The more we expect respect from our preteens and teens, the more they will carry that respect over to other areas of their lives, in school, their teachers, their coaches, and their bosses. So respect is a big deal in the house, and you should let your preteens and your teens know this. That's the first one. The second rule is we are a family and everybody will have chores. Everybody contributes. It's simply about pitching in and working as a team in a family, which of course is very, very important. It's also about teaching our preteens and teens basic life skills, making them responsible and making sure that they understand that gender roles do not apply. We need to teach our boys how to do the dishes, fold laundries, vacuum, cook, and also teach our daughters how to mow the lawn, cut hedges, and maybe change a tire. Or electrical stuff in the house. Preteens and teens. That's not to say we should implement this house rule with an iron fist. No, most preteens and teens have extremely busy schedules. There will be times when our kids can help a lot, and there will be times when they can't really help at all. We should give them, this grace. We should hold them accountable for some chores, but be flexible and and respectful of the other demands, in their lives. The third rule is honesty is expected. From when my children were young, one of the things, the affirmations I got them to say is, I tell the truth always. If your preteen and teen walks in the door an hour past curfew, you need a straight answer on while they are getting back at that time. When they get into trouble with their friends, you need an honest explanation. Parenting is hard enough, and when our kids start sneaking behind our backs, bending the truth, or flat out lying, it becomes nearly impossible to effectively parent, or protect them. That's why it's important that we start these things very early, and then we put ourselves to be in a position where they can come to talk to us about anything. So in other words, we you need to expect or even demand the truth, no matter how hard it is for your preteens or teens. They need to tell us the truth. Heads up, parents, if you want your preteen and teen to be open and honest, you need to establish a safe, foundation for them to do so. Like I already said, avoid overreacting, and scale back on harsh discipline, which has proven to backfire, in many cases, and use your, teens full up and honesty as an opportunity to always connect, and to also forge a stronger bond and guide them. I've told my children, will mommy be angry? Yes, she'll be angry, but will the problem be solved? It will be solved. So that's number 3. Number 4 is school is your job. So our preteens and teens, may not go to work every day. For those that are working, but they do have a job. School, homework, studying, trying their hands on things, that's their job. And make sure that your preteen and teen knows that you expect their best efforts. That doesn't mean you expect all A's. What it means is that slacking off, cutting school, blowing off homework, choosing gaming on their computer over studying for tests the next day isn't an option. It's important that we establish this with our children. The 5th one is they will be held accountable for their actions. Several of my videos I've spoken about, not bailing our children, our preteens and teens out all the time. They'll be held accountable for their actions. Now that our kids are getting older, we're not doing them any favors if we rescue them when they mess up, when they screw up. They need to face the consequences of their actions head on, if they're going to be responsible adults. Yes, I tell my children, growing up is is a big deal. Just the same way you want to grow up, more is also expected of you. Like I said, we're going to stand beside them and support them emotionally through it all. Little do they know we always have their back. It's important to establish that we always have their back, but they need to face the music solo. So for example, you fail a test, you blow off, curfew, you break a rule at home or at school. For those that drive, you get a speeding ticket. Heads up, preteens and teens, life is full of consequences. If you don't study for your test, you're going to do poorly. It's better we start to learn that now rather than later. Remember, when implementing consequences at home, I'm going to make a video of consequences for preteens and teens. They should make sense, and be relevant and be fair, over the top consequences that don't align, with the nature of your preteens or your teens action is one of the fastest way. I repeat myself, one of the fastest way to lose your teens' respect, and trigger rebellion and also resentment. So very, very important. Like I said, look out for a video where I'll give lots of consequences, what to do and what not to do when you're giving your preteens and your teens consequences. Number 6 is limits for personal technology. The use of iPhones, gaming is one of the biggest gripes parents have with their preteens and teens. Tell me about it. In fact, I made a video just today talking about some of the fights that we're going to have to hold on to in this year, and one of them is limitation fights. It's important to remember that their phones and gaming platforms are important outlets for our kids to chill, to socialize. Still, some boundaries need to be set. Very importantly, establish fair limits for how long and when your preteens or teens can use their tech, and whether you are allowed iPhones in their rooms at night. There's no phone, there's no device in my children's room at night. They come to submit it to me. I've made videos of talking about the dangers. Make sure your preteen and your teens know that you can and will look at their phones on occasions, including the apps that they've downloaded. I have to approve apps before my children can download it, and whether they're connecting with people they have no business connecting with. The online world is not safe, especially for our preteens and teens. So we need to put our feet down. We need to put our eyes down when it comes to their use of technology. Introducing it to them, and continually having conversations and guiding them, as they use technology is very important. And a bonus and very important one, open communication always. So when it comes to house rules for our preteens and teens, open communication tops the list. It doesn't matter if your preteen or teen is 13 or 17 or 21, they need to keep you in the loop, where they are going, who they'll be with, what they'll be doing, and when they'll be home. Very, very important. The world isn't what it used to be, and it's important you know your preteens and your teens' whereabouts at all times. It also means they need to text you back. Very importantly, answer their call and ask permission before they make plans. I'll tell you a story at the end of this video, especially when it involves hanging out, hanging out with people, handing out money, or being the designated driver. So anything that compromises our preteens and our teens' safety, or any other individual's safety, or anything that compromises with their future in a big way, maybe a life-altering mistake. So sure, we need to give our preteens and our teens plenty of latitude to grow and figure out who they are. But our main job, beyond loving them, is keeping them safe, being by their side every step on the way, guiding them, making sure that they are safe, making sure that they arrive back at home, is very, very important, especially in the time and age where we live. Last 2 weeks, my daughter came to me and said, "Oh, mommy, I need to meet up with my friends at the Union Square." I was like, "Okay, but I'm not taking you." She was like, "Then how do I go?" I said, "If you need to meet up your friends, then you have to find a way. You can't just barge into my schedule. I didn't plan on doing anything today. Besides, the weather is not very good." She still insisted on going. I knew the people she was going to hang out with, so it wasn't a bother for me. What I thought that she has learned was not just breezing into my own schedule and saying I have to take you out. No, that day she went to the bus station, took a bus, went to meet with her friends. When she got there, she take pictures of the people. She took pictures, sent them back to me, came back with the bus. We were in touch actually. So she had learned to, use the bus. So it's very important that we give them some space, but not so much. If you've learned some things from this video, like, share, drop me a comment, and I'll see you in my next one. Share some of your house rules.